Of Q broadcast, it's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part, there are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
We live in a world where men are told it's harmless. It's just entertainment. But let's stop lying to ourselves. Pornography destroys. It weakens your spirit. It dulls your drive. And it robs you of what real intimacy is supposed to be. Every click is a step away from the man you're supposed to be. We can't call ourselves leaders if we are slaves to a screen.
As someone that is prior service, I know all about discipline. And discipline isn't out there, it's within your mind. Porn rewires your brain, weakens your will, wrecks all of your relationships. It doesn't just stay on a screen, it invades your marriage, your confidence, and your actual purpose. As men, if we don't learn to discipline ourselves, we'll be ruled by our impulses. Now, it is time to stand up and take control before this silent war takes more than you're willing to lose.
Real men don't hide in the shadows of shame. We step up and we protect what's ours. We fight for our wives and kids, our own hearts. Twitter isn't just an app. It's a weapon. It's a tool used to break free and start living like the man that you're meant to be. The battle's here and it starts with you. You can stop living in shame and you can break free today.
Of Q Broadcast, it's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q Broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part, there are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts, and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package?
Here at the Anomic Age, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the Anomic Age, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the John Age Project at anomicage.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response. Shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrison?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else, and she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle, she's expressing this. It doesn't conform with our rules, but we're learning to cope, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Extremely difficult.
Dareth, let's let you talk for yourself. You're from Long Beach, California.
I just can't handle being like everybody else because that's what everybody else wants, you know. Just because somebody else does something does not mean that I have to do it. You know, I have my own morals and ideals, and I go by them.
Are you drug-free, Dareth?
Yes, I am.
Is this a political statement then? Do you have some misgiving about the society that you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know. A lot of the people are really aware of what's going on, you know, and I don't like it, you know. There's a lot of problems.
What?
I don't like the way society is based.
What bothers you? Give us some of the misgivings you have.
The rich, the poor, the people starving, the wars, you know. Why can't, you know, everybody just get along and just live their life?
Here at the Anomic Age, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the John Age Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train. That is the Anomic Age. And I'm your host, John H. Thanks for being with us. Happy to be back with you once again. Going to take you into the dark side of the AM this evening. Hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the Old North State, I will be your tour guide as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global satanic death call to pedophiles. That's what's up, folks. That's exactly what's up. Please check out anomicage.com if you've not already done so. Like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions, paypal.me/anomicage, patreon.com /anomicage as well. That's the best way that you can help me out in any way, shape, or form. I love the kind comments and the 5-star reviews, but at the end of the day, like that old Jerry Maguire movie, it's all about the Quan, baby. It's all about the Quan. Wish I could pay some bills with those lovely comments, but it's all about the Quan, folks. So, hate to say it, but, feel free to become a patron. Feel free to go up there to buy me a cup of coffee. Link. Let's go over here so people know right where to go. It's right here at the donate button. Just hit the donate button, folks. And you can send me some Federal Reserve notes. We got the PayPal link, the Cash App link, the Patreon link, and the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee link as well. It's right there at anomicage.com. That's right. So, feel free to go there and do that. We don't need to see that. Nay, nay, nay. My goal this evening is to not rock the mic and bump it against the table. And if I can do that, we'll be doing better. It's kind of driving me nuts that I always do that. The pollen is still getting to me. It's beautiful out here in North Carolina right now. It's chilly outside. I love it. Even there on the coastal plain where I'm at, it's chilly outside. I'm just happy as I can be. My goodness, that satanic heat from Satan's testicles is not yet scorching the face of the earth, at least not here in North Carolina. So thank God for that. All right. Also got to say thanks for all those people out there listening to, watching, sharing, on the go, on the live version or what have you. Thanks for doing that, man. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. So, I love our nightly conversations too, or I guess I should say my bi-weekly conversations. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. And, always shout out to the Patriots Prayer people and all the people that were pre-Patriots Prayer people. Throw me some love on the YouTube as well. I think I got like 5 subscribers or something on my YouTube channel. They took it down and then I couldn't get it back. So I had to start over again. And I'm convinced that they just let me start over. Wink, wink. They just don't allow anyone to actually see it or interact with it. So if you'd like to give the algorithms the proverbial high sign, do that. I'm on the Facebook. I'm on the Twitter. What was Facebook before? When the CIA was running it, just like, obviously, it was called LifeLog, in case you missed out that. LifeLog. Check out LifeLog. LifeLog was the predecessor of Facebook, and miraculously, LifeLog went down, and Facebook went up simultaneously. And everybody believed the propagandist film, what was that, The Network or some bull job? They just, it's just these 3 college kids in a dorm. That's all it was. That's all it was, John. Why would you ever think otherwise? That's what they told us it was. Anyway, yeah, I'm on the LifeLog, a.k.a. Facebook. So I'm on there under my name, John Age, and the Anomic Age. So I primarily function in the John Age one. I just kind of use the Anomic Age handle just to post only show links. That's pretty much all that's on there. So if you want to check me out on the John Age, you'll see way more. As well as the Twitter, or what do the cool kids call it now, X, when they're not throwing slop and crashing out and using other fun-filled whatever this dumb generation is words. So there's that. Anyway, so we're all the way up to Economic Age Information Breakdown segment 525. I can't believe it. 525. And we're going to talk a little Desensitized this evening. Great hardcore straight edge band from Boston. I mean, I got to say, I don't know. I like their music, hate every single bit of their politics because you know what direction it's flowing. Massachusetts, as the great Rusty Shackelford would say. Anyway, Slapshot's got a great little ditty called Desensitized on their 16 Valve Hate record. Quite good, I must say. And that's exactly the truth, folks. We have become desensitized. We have become desensitized 8 days a week and twice on Sunday, folks. It is darn near abysmal desensitization out there. Just retarded desensitization. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this evening. And we will also get into some good stuff, in my humble opinion. We'll get into some funny news. That's the only kind of news that there is now. I mean, it's a Saturday Night Live skit. I mean, I've been posting all over my ex account about, I can't even remember his representative's name. He looks like Chris Kattan. So whenever I see a picture of his boob online, I immediately post a picture of Chris Kattan and say, I'm so glad Chris Kattan's still doing his Saturday Night Live, Night at the Roxbury stuff under the guise of being this congressman or whatever the flipping fool is called. Is he like from Minnesota, I think? I don't know. Whatever the cat is, it looks like Chris Kattan. I believe he's a representative from Minnesota, the 10,000 Lakes region. It's that old joke from Chris Rock when he was actually the only black people in Minnesota are Prince and Kirby Puckett. Not true anymore, Chris. Not true anymore. There's a whole lot of melanin up there now. I don't think most of them are black people. Most of them are people from otros partes del mundo. Other parts of the world. I think that's what's up, man. So we'll talk a little desensitized. So when I was kind of looking at some of the, not even just the news from today, if you just look at the news from, I don't know, the past 2000, no, I'm just kidding. From the past 10 years, it definitely shows you the desensitized nature of it all. And I got to go back to the classics, folks. You always got to rep on the classics. So the classics, in my humble opinion, would be stuff like the 9/11 false flag and the COVID hoax. So these two incidents were kind of the warm-ups for everything we're seeing now. Because I've given a lot of thought to the whole 9/11 hoax, false flag, excuse me. And, it's just so sad because I guess my generation was the last generation to actually know a society when you could just freely go to the airport. You can go check on loved ones. You can walk right up there to the gate and the whole 9 yards. Now, it's ridiculous. Now, thanks to the 9/11 false flag, they've created a completely new department, the TSA molesters. And, of course, the Patriot Act and everything else. Excuse me. Doggone, the allergies are killing my nose and my cough is terrible. But anyway, so thanks to the 9/11 false flag, now we get, you either get to go through a cancer device that we've already seen all this in the past where they have sold, the all but nude images of these different celebrities. They go through the naked body scanner and it shows all their twigs and berries and naughty bits or what have you. That's just old hat now. I mean, how screwed up is that? Can you imagine your grandparents' generation dealing with that kind of bulljob? But now it's just commonplace. Now it's commonplace because everyone has become desensitized to the tyranny, to the immorality, to the open Satanism that we're just bombarded with 8 days a week and twice on Sunday. It's disgusting, folks. So now, my dog over here snoring. Now you get the indignity of going to third base with a stranger live, in front of everybody, friends, family, fellow travelers. Oh my goodness. Oh, somebody's getting felt up. Somebody's going to third base here with a 9 times out of 10 obese Lebanese person or just an obese person. It's always going to be the same freakiness at these sort of situations, because normal people don't want to do this as their vocation, their job, their trabajo. They just don't want to do it, folks. And I wouldn't want to do it. I'm not a sick, depraved individual, and I don't want to grope all over strangers. It's just gross, man. But we've become desensitized to it, and now it's commonplace. Now we have a whole generation, I guess 2, maybe even 3, that will never know a civil society in which you just get to travel and go through just a regular old metal detector. Now you get to travel. They get to unpack your bag. They get to throw you through the body scanner. They get to take you to third base. They get to take you to a room. You know, how sick is this? They get to take you to a room if they believe you're really depraved. And as I've said so many times before, the guise was that it was for the terrorists. It's for you, folks. It's for you. That's what Palantir is for. That's what all these illegalities that they're shoving up your TSA 8 days a week and twice on Sunday. All these illegalities are for you. They are for Los Blancos. They are for the Christian heterosexual Blancos, patriotic Americans. That's their primary target. And then they'll wheel it back for all the other colors under the rainbow. We'll all sit under some sort of satanic sun and hold hands singing Kumbaya while the whole thing burns to the ground. So, got that little ditty. We got a Patriot Act. We got TSA. We get to get groped on airplanes. Thanks to the desensitization, folks. And we've had a lot of great guests on the show that have discussed this. None greater, I do believe, than Kathy O'Brien. She's been on the show. I think just at one time. I get back in touch with her. But she got into all the trauma-based mind control, her own horrible situations with some of these lovelies in the government. But another one that always comes to my mind when I'm thinking about the trauma-based mind control is Naomi Klein. Naomi Klein, I wish she was on this show. I got to reach out to her. I've never done that, but I should reach out to Naomi Klein. Lovely book from, 2007, The Shock Doctrine. The Shock Doctrine, baby. The Shock Doctrine was all about just that. It was tongue-in-cheek referencing the shock and awe by Bush baby, not the senior, but the younger, not the elder. I want to conflate that with a terrible Kiss record, but not the elder. No, the younger. So if you remember old George Bush baby, after the false flag in 9/11, we had a great opportunity based on the false flag to go into the Middle East and do some bombing. And a lot of people said, oh, he's doing mop-up work from Desert Storm because I guess, everybody didn't buy the babies in the incubators. You remember that? Remember the lady who turned out to be the daughter of one of the ambassadors over there? Talking about babies in incubators getting thrown on the floor. That never happened. That happened about as realistically as Santa jumping down your chimney, folks. Not happening. But anyway, so if you remember old George Bush the first, he was over there pee-peeing in the wind in the sandbox during Gulf War 1, 2, 3, the revenge tour, whatever they wanted to call it. I don't know. And then you had Georgie Bush, baby. Georgie Porgy taking the helm. Oh, boy. Then we had that open window false flag thanks to the 9/11. And then everybody was, again, desensitized. And the shock and awe, baby. And that was kind of this tongue-in-cheek reference from Naomi Klein's book, The Shock Doctrine. Because the American people were the ones actually experiencing the shock and awe. It was placated. Oh, it's just those people in the Middle East. And, fill in your pejorative term for whatever. But it was really the American people because we were the ones experiencing the trauma-based mind control. We were the ones experiencing the shock doctrine right here on la televisión aquí en los Estados Unidos. Yeah, because everybody's boob idiot box was tuned in to the 9/11 footage over and over and over again. I guess the only saving grace is it wasn't in like 4G living color like it would be today. We could like zoom in on the pixels of death, I guess. But, the shock doctrine didn't start with 9/11. I would say, surmise, suggest, and otherwise tell you that this whole thing's been going on for a long time, folks. Different levels of it, incrementally increasing over time just like the frog in the boiling pot. So you don't even notice, folks. Don't even notice. Going back to World War I, remember the big war? We're never going to do this again. And you had people with battle fatigue, coming back with battle fatigue because it was legit trench warfare, just heinous, horrible warfare. Mustard gas, whole 9 yards, right? And then we were thrown into World War II. Oh, goody, another false flag's coming for you. Just like the previous sinking of the Lusitania, World War II predicated on the false flag of, you guessed it, Pearl Harbor. Yeah, more trauma-based mind control, more shock doctrine. So with that one, you had battle fatigue and you had shell shock. And then finally, we get roped into the Vietnam B to the S after JFK is taken out. And don't worry, I'm not champion for JFK. He was clearly gay. He was clearly taking a toot here, there, and everywhere. You can take that several ways. I'll let you decide. So, you know, he wasn't this benevolent benefactor. He was put in there illegally by his papa tambien. Yeah, his dad was stealing that election, taking it from Nixon. Remember that? So then we get LBJ and we get to go full frontal into Vietnam. Then we got Cronkite and Brokaw giving you the live coverage as the body bags come streaming in. Then we have in the field reporters, countless documentaries, specials, news clips, and doodads and otherwise showing you more death, destruction, and say it with me, class, trauma-based mind control. So if you learned nothing from the great Kathy O'Brien interview on this show, you should go back and check it out again. But with Kathy O'Brien, what we really got was her discussing what was really going on, how this trauma-based mind control works. Yeah, it's a lot of drugs. It's a lot of trauma inflicted upon the psyche. What did we happen to have with the 1960s, folks? Thanks to the Timothy Leary electric Kool-Aid acid test, thanks to the CIA just pumping LSD and marijuana all over Los Estados Unidos. We had drugs, and we had an infinite amount of trauma. Oh, yeah, boys and girls. We sure did. And that leads to, as Kathy O'Brien will tell you, as the shock doctrine from Naomi Klein will talk about too, a splitting of the personality. Yeah, your personality begins to slip, begins to split, and you are desensitized. Best case scenario, according to the government, you become an alter. You become a separate individual. Then you can be controlled, just like the Manchurian Candidate, whether or not you're talking about the good one with Frank Sinatra or the kind of cruddy one from like 20 years ago. Either way, that's the point of it all, folks. I'd say another good movie is The Parallax View. If you haven't seen that, you should. Parallax View, I think it's got, oh man, what the heck? I was going to say Richard Gere, but I think I'm mistaken. But The Parallax View is like a mid-70s thing, a movie rather, very similar to the aforementioned. Anyway, so you had the desensitization, folks. You had that with all the major wars, and you had people coming back with battle fatigue and shell shock. And finally, we began to call it PTSD. Oh, boy, loving those acronyms, don't you? PTSD. So if you look at movies like Full Metal Jacket, Platoon, goodness, there was so many that came out in the 80s and early 90s that covered the Vietnam War. After all, I should say conflict, because we haven't had a legitimate war since World War II. But nevertheless, had a lot of really good movies. And I would suggest going back and looking at some of those 70s documentaries, if you can, 70s and 60s documentaries. They're all over YouTube. I spent several days doing a deep dive into this a couple years back, and it was disturbing, to say the least. Disturbing. So look at The Deer Hunter. It's another good movie as well. Platoon, Full Metal Jacket. Oh man, what's the one I'm missing? It's got Brando in it. Somebody can fill me in on the comments. Oh man, what is that movie, man? It's the one where he's talking about napalm in the morning. Apocalypse Now. There we go. That's another good one. Anyway, so what you had during all those big epic conflicts is people, I believe it was Full Metal Jacket, they referred to it as the 1,000-yard stare, something like that. And you had individuals, sadly, looking like this gentleman here on your screen. I don't know who this guy is, and I feel sorry for him because he's obviously experiencing a little desensitization, folks. So you got to look at that in the broad, the macro, and the micro, folks. You got to look at that 10,000-foot view and then zoom all the way into you because it definitely has got some bearing on us all. Certainly does, folks. Certainly does. So that's why the average person today is inundated just in a candy coating of this kind of tyrannical bull jive, and nothing's going on. People always, and I've done it myself many times on the show, referencing 1776, 1775, you know, when it was all kind of heating up. I'll go 1775 when we're talking about the tea tax, the sugar tax, the Townsend taxes, and everything else. And you had the Boston Harbor. Apparently, Boston wasn't always Massachusetts. And you had real men doing real men stuff. And now you don't have any men doing any men stuff. And those that are doing quote unquote men stuff are doing it for Israel, doing it for the Ukraine, doing it for every other third world despot all across the globe. But not here. Not aquí. No, no, no. That's not for you, slaves. You see the muscle, the real quote unquote men folk here are going to be used to scoop your butt up. They're going to be used for Oklahoma City. They're going to be used for Waco. They're going to be used for Ruby Ridge. They're going to be used to get the Unabomber and all these other horrible creatures, but never for the actual swamp dwelling, bottom feeder, floor flushing monkey trash that makes up District of Criminals. Nobody's doing anything there. I mean, remember, Trump told you you're low IQ if you even want to talk about Epstein. And nobody dares to even mention the Anthony Weiner laptop anymore. That's just déclassé. That's so old school. Nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Nobody wants to talk about the realness. They'll talk about the fake bull job all day. 8 days a week and twice on Sunday. Did you see the game, man? I'm getting ready for football season. Oh, I'm all started for baseball. Yeah, these are the real low IQ people. These are the real people that are going, I'm eating my Chick-fil-A. They're a Christian. They're a Christian company that's killing you. So how Christian is that? I mean, for peeps sakes, if Planned Parenthood just had a big cross out front, would it be okay? No, that's retarded. That's stupid. Good grief, man. People are so inundated with this malaise of poison that it's just like, it's no big deal. No big deal. Here, speaking of no big deal, let's put this on screen. The Atlantic. A private company wants to block the sun responsibly. Oh, boy. Responsible blocking of the sun. Now we're talking. Boy, for a minute there, I just thought it was those government incompetent boobs up there chemtrailing away, a.k.a. geoengineering. Now that I know a private company wants to do it responsibly, holy shnikes. I mean, it's like differentiating the Postal Service from FedEx. I mean, totally different thing. Completely different, right? Good grief. Totally different. Yo, if it's a government issue 45 that blows your face off, that's okay, but kind of bad. But if it's just a privately owned 45 ACP coming up to the back of your brainstem and pulling the trigger, then that's totally cool, you know? Because it's a privately owned bullet at that point. It's not a federal bullet. It's not Lauren Haruchi gunning down the mom holding her kid at Ruby Ridge. That's totally different, you know? If it was just a free agent, so to speak, then everybody would be A-okay, right? Like that old face-to-face song. A-okay. Don't tell me I'm okay. I'm not okay. Not even close, folks. Not even close. So we have become desensitized to the bull jive. Completely desensitized to it all, folks. Speaking of desensitized, let's run another one up the flagpole, shall we? Good God. I don't even know if I want to touch this one because I feel like I'm going to take it in a dark place. I don't know if that's good. We'll try. Lauren Boebert. This is just silly. The whole thing. I mean, when you see, this is why you can't do a serious news show, because when you see this, you just know it's all horse feathers. You know it's bulljob. Lauren Boebert, representative from Colorado, fires back at Dave Chappelle. Apparently Dave got off the weed or got on it. I don't know. He's always been. He got off of it, I guess. He had a moment of clarity, and he went, wait a minute. I'm a Democratic operative. I'm supposed to toe the company line. Maybe it's because he was talking about coming out with the Chappelle show again, and I guess his handlers probably went, hey, we will think about greenlighting the Chappelle show again, but we won't allow it unless you come out and start towing those talking points, Dave. And I guess that was what was up. So Dave Chappelle got all over the intro web, allegedly. Could have been his handler, could have been an alien, could have been Mike Chappelle posing as Dave. I don't know. Anyway, Dave was all over the media landscape. Boy, today and yesterday. Talking about he was upset. He was upset that these Republicans used his, what did he say? He said that they were weaponizing his transgender jokes. And I guess old Lauren Boebert even used an image of her and David. Not like that. I guess maybe it was her and David like standing side by side. Maybe it's a picture of Dave Chappelle that she took in a fandom moment. I don't even know. I'm just saying Dave got his panties in a work about that. I mean, he was hot, I guess, allegedly. And yeah, he was like, man, y'all are using y'all jokes, and it was hurting people's feelings and stuff. And far be it from me, Dave Chappelle, to hurt anybody's feelings. This is what is so stupid, because you would never, ever, ever hear this kind of bull jive coming out of the likes of Sam Kinison, coming out of the likes of Andrew Dice Clay, coming out of the likes of Eddie Murphy, coming out of the likes of anybody that was worth the flip. Red Fox, if you want to go back that far. They would never be like, how dare you use my material? You know, so stupid. So anyway, we're, like breaking news is a comedian saying, oh my, you're weaponizing my jokes. Please stop. After he came out basically agreeing with the right over the left. And now he's reeling it in, folks. He got the call. I don't know. So there's that. But it got even more silly because trying to keep it clean, trying to be nice on this one. It's going to be difficult. It got even more silly. I don't even know how this came up. Insert your jokes here, folks. I'm not going to do it for you. But Lauren Boebert took to the airwaves and the media landscape and started talking about the people in Congress on the Hill. So many jokes, so little time. On the Hill seem to be a bit randy. They seem randy, and she doesn't know why. And she even said, these people need to find Jesus. Okay. All good points. I don't really know what the sexuality. Oh, I'm thinking, all right, I feel you. All right, never mind. I was about to say, I don't know why this is coming out of left field. And then we got Swallow as well. We got to talk about him too. Anyway. So there's that. I was going to say, I don't know where this came from. And then I remember the Swallowswell thing. And I was like, oh, wait, that's where it came from. Okay, so this would make sense coming out of anybody. Well, no, I take that back because I immediately think of the other flim bags like Lindsey Graham. Good grief. I ain't even going to touch that with a 20-foot pole because we all know. Oh, man. The more I talk about these things, the more the jokes just write themselves. Yeah, Lindsey Graham, we know what team he's playing for. Literally and figuratively, draw your own conclusions. So maybe she wasn't talking about Swallowswell. Maybe she was talking about Lindsay. Maybe she was talking about some of them other freaks. We got the blue-haired chick. We're going to pull her up in a minute. But anyway, I say all that to say this. This would make sense if it was coming from Massey, maybe, or somebody else that, how can I say this nicely? Lauren Boeber's already got busted and kicked out of a dang play for taking things over the line and into a little risque. This ain't even from a year ago, is it? Maybe a year ago? I don't know. I don't even remember who she was in this play sitting there in whatever with. But we know that Lauren was in there with a man. So hats off to that. She wasn't in there with a chick. Good move, Lauren. But anyway, she was in there with a man, and they were watching the play and going on a date and just having a ball, having a great all time. Not a gay all time, but a great all time, apparently. Anyway, so she was catching some heat from somebody because she was in there vaping. I think that's weak and pathetic and sorry. So right away, I'm like, all right, that's pathetic, man. I hate all drugs, booze, and vapes and anything else you're going to shove into your orifices of that variety. But anyway, all that jive, I'm like, man, come on, man. All right, you're in there vaping. I'd have kicked you out on the jump on that one. But it got worse because the dude she was with kept going to second base. And I don't know about third. He might have been a TSA employee. We don't know. Here's what's funny about that whole thing. She ended up getting kicked out of this play because her and her man were getting a little risque and they didn't like it. And she was doing the vaping thing too. Here's what's hilarious though. Here's what's funny. So check this out. Lauren and some cat got kicked out of the play for good. All right, I'm going to say all the way here. That was a good move. All right. There could have been some kids out there, even adults out there. You don't want to see that necessarily. Come on, man. There's people out there thinking Lauren Boeber's like a 10 or something. I'm not even going there. I'm not even going there. I'm going to keep it P to the G. Okay. I'm not going to give you my opinion on anything. I shan't. Anyway, I'm just saying the whole thing shouldn't have happened. All right. All right. We all got that. But here's what's hilarious. So if that cat had just had a TSA shirt on and maybe a little TSA badge, what they go through like 6 weeks of training or something? Not even. Anyway, if that cat would have been in there and he would have got up and said, yo, I'm TSA. I'm doing a cavity search here, a pat down or whatever the flip they do in the airports now. Then the chick would have been like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were a TSA agent because after all, here in the United States, land of the sheep, home of the slave, we can go to third base and then some in the airport as long as it's TSA. If you don't have your special badge, nay. But as long as you're TSA, then it's all bets are off. I mean, it can get even more crazy, I guess, if you're TSA, It always reminds me of the Philip Zimbardo, the Stanford prison experiment. This thing was recreated like thousands of times, I'm sure. But anyway, Zimbardo was the guy. He died a couple years ago. He was the guy that did the Stanford prison experiments. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of it. He basically got some student volunteers for the study, put them in a prison scenario, gave one half the prison guard uniforms, gave the other half the inmate uniforms, and basically said, hey, we're going to do this experiment, see how it goes. And immediately, everyone started acting accordingly. People started playing their role. And it got rowdy and randy and otherwise crazy. And they had to stop the whole thing. I think they stopped in like a day, I believe. They didn't last like a couple days. But the whole Stanford prison experiment, in my humble opinion, is a great psychological investigation that sheds light on just how stupid people can be. But that would have been a hilarious experiment. Whatever that dude's name that she was with, he should have just pulled out his TSA badge and like, hey, man, I'm in here doing my job. What are you talking about? And that's how it is, folks. You got cops just pulling over random people on the highway and everything else in between, doing all kinds of stupid mess. But it's okay because they're wearing a special outfit. They chose to dress like a cop that day. If they'd have chose to dress like a pope that day, then they could have. All right, I ain't going to say that. That's going to take the crazy over the line. But you know where I'm going with this thought, right? Okie dokie then. Let's move on. We got some more to talk about. Oh, yeah. Let's check this one out, folks. Not that one, you scumbag. There we go, theguardian.com. If you were wondering, the Lauren Boebert article, that was from Forbes.com. All right, let's hit it with some Swalwell. This guy, Eric Swalwell, officially resigns from his House position into government. Well, Lord, there's a blessing, isn't it? Los Angeles County Sheriff investigating rape allegations against him as it happened. Man. So old Swalwell went from running to be the governor of California. And now old Swalwell is he might catch a case out of this one, folks. He's probably looking at some time. I mean, unless Swalwell is doing the Stanford prison experiment thing, maybe he was wearing his Pope outfit. If Swalwell was wearing a priest or a Pope outfit, then hey, it's probably not even rape in California. I mean, come on. What do you think? If he wore just his TSA outfit, then he could have gone to second, third base, and no big deal. All right. He had the right outfit on. Case of an adult female who reported being sexually assaulted by Swalwell in a West Hollywood. I'm sorry, it's not on the screen for you. My bad, folks. My bad. Let's put it on the screen. There we are. In a West Hollywood hotel, July 2018. The sad, sick, twisted part about it is, folks, all this is commonplace. It's so commonplace, but yet nothing happens to these individuals. People are still crucifying Cosby. I mean, rightfully so, I guess. I don't even know the gist of what happened. Allegedly, Cos is up there drugging people and raping people. So bad Cos should be put in jail or killed. But the irony is, it's selective persecution and it's selective outrage. Because the left's still wringing their hands, gnashing their teeth, or rending their garments over Cos because he was coming out telling all the black folks to pull up your pants and talk like you got some sense and otherwise stop being a scumbag. Ironic coming from him if those allegations are indeed true. But what should really turn your stomach here is the other individuals. Anthony Winter laptop, anyone? Bill and Hillary Clinton, anyone? I mean, the entirety of Hollywood. Who was that other girl? Oh, my goodness. I can't think of this. Came out just yesterday. Rose something. Some other quote-unquote celebrity coming out saying that Katy Perry molested her. Well, she did. I mean, I'm going to give you the real on that one. You're going to have to look that one up yourself. Katy Perry rubbed her on this girl's face or something. I don't even. Whatever, man. It was unrequited love. I'll just leave it at that. And again, what's really going to happen to these clowns? Same thing that happened to Barry Soetoro. Same thing that happened to the stolen election. Same thing that happened to the whole 9 yards, folks. Nothing. We have become desensitized to this proverbial onslaught, this deluge of scum, of tyranny, of trash, of immorality, of Satanism. We've become just numb to it, folks. We watch a Super Bowl halftime show now. You just expect to see Satanism now. That's just the norm. I mean, forget about it. Every award show, you expect to see Satanism. I mean, I'm at the point, I never watch award shows to begin with, but if I did, I'd be like, I'd be mad if I was watching some award show or watching the Stupid Bowl, and there wasn't some Satanism, I'd be kind of hacked off. I'd be like, what the? I flipped it up. I took time out of my day to sit here and watch some Satanism on TV. I can't even get this. Come on, man. I have to watch episodes of that old Geraldo Rivera show. We used to talk about Satanism on his show. Remember that? Remember that Gary Rivers or whatever your name is? I'll have to go back in time and watch some old Iron Maiden videos backwards or something. See if I can see some Satanism. If y'all ain't going to show it on the Super Bowl. We've become so desensitized, folks. In my day, when I was a young whippersnapper, there was actually classes about Satanism. There was actually classes about the evils of Satanism in music. And then it all got brushed under the rug and thrown under the bin of a satanic panic. Because if you check out any academic book now, it's going to say the satanic panic. Oh, yeah. They're not going to talk about the McMartin preschool. They're not going to talk about the excavations that were actually legitimizing that. I saw this all over social media when Chuck Norris died, because it was an individual, a child, I'm thinking, in the McMartin thing that was talking about Chuck Norris was involved in some of this. And we already know there's underground passages to the Playboy Mansion, to a lot of these old Hollywood types. I mean, that was Houdini's mansion was just one of them, but there was other people. Jack Nicholson was another one. All these people. I mean, these are old money with old houses and old passages that all happen to connect, just like the McMartin preschool victims came out and said. But don't worry, because, nothing to see here. It's all just a satanic panic, folks. It's not even real. It's a fig Newton in your imagination. It didn't even happen. It was just some weirdos. That's what it was, I tell you. Some weirdos. It wasn't anything real. It was just a bunch of freaky Christians out there getting all upset, hot, and bothered over Satanism. Yeah. Forget about it. All right, what else we got? This is an old one, but a funny one. And I was going to throw this one up there because this is just more evidence of, whatever happened to, and people just forgot all about it, folks. This is from abcnews.com. Remember old Paul Pelosi? Yeah, Nancy's husband, Nancy the drunk, sketchy, wrinkled old bag that's been there for 50 flipping plus years. Heavens to Betsy, there's pictures of Nancy Pelosi and JFK, for heaven's sakes. Ridiculous. Anyway, so she's allegedly married to this guy named Paul. And clearly Paul is into some homosexuality. But that's not what you're going to hear about, and you're not even going to hear about this anymore, because Paul Pelosi hammer attack video released. Audio and video recordings from the night Paul Pelosi, the husband of the Democratic representative and former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, I added that, was violently assaulted, were released on Friday. Violently assaulted in his house by some random guy with a hammer. Good grief. San Francisco Superior Court ruled in favor of the outlets on Wednesday. The material released included body cam footage, the 9/11 call made by Paul, Capitol Police surveillance video. The graphic body cam shows officers arriving at the residence. When the door was open, Paul is seen standing next to the suspects, David DePape, and both are struggling over a hammer. Man, so if you believe in the official story on that one, folks, my goodness gracious. I got some oceanfront property on Mars for you to buy. Man, it's just too funny, isn't it? Let's see what else we got here. This was just funny, too. I saw this the other day, and I forgot to bring it to you on the previous show. So here we go. Everybody is getting inundated with the humiliation ritual of the Artemis 2, making its way towards the moon. And this whole thing, the whole 9 yards of the moon landing, of the space travel, of the space, what the flip is that thing? The space station. I got to tell you, man, I was never somebody that really bought into, nor didn't buy into. I just didn't really give a flip about any of this crud. But the more you look at it, the more the whole thing stinks like yesterday's garbage, folks. It smells like an old bag of carp that you left out in the rain, folks. Just stinky. Stinks, folks. Stinks. So you've all had access, privy to the same footage as me, I'm sure. And you've seen all kinds of just bull job all over social media with these imbeciles. Koch and Glover. Koch and Glover, folks. And the other two bozos, I don't even know. Anyway, the DEI Supreme made its way to outer space to hang around the moon for a while, I guess. And immediately they hit you off with the hilarity of problems with the toilet. And then you've got the clearly CGI footage where objects are disappearing, objects are fading into the face. You've got stars appearing inside the alleged cabin. You've got the stupidest of stupids where this object lands back on Earth. You know, it's allegedly going, what is it, like 50,000 degrees and, you know, thousands of miles an hour, just plummeting to the earth. We've got this weird little suppository looking ball with some red parachutes on it. Again, it's just the red parachutes with some white circles looking exactly like the Ringling Brothers big top that you might see at the circus, because it's a circus. This whole thing going live, happening on April Fool's Day, because you're the fool, folks. The name Cox and Glover, you're the fool. It's a humiliation ritual par excellence. That's what this is, folks. But we've had our nose rubbed in the brown stuff for so long, we've become so desensitized to the flagrant baloney that we've just had to witness for so long that the average person's just kind of like, okay, I guess. I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Like, the most egregious things keep occurring, and we're just like, okay, I guess. Okay, billions to the Ukraine? Sure. Yeah, I guess so. Well, we're going to go help Israel out for like the 100th time and give them a bunch more money too, billions of dollars. Okay, it sounds great. Oh yeah, your sons and daughters get to go shed their blood and die in the mass trauma-based mind control, the biggest of them all, you know, the war, which is nothing but a big sacrifice ritual. And everybody's like, okay, I guess. I mean, it's so just flagrantly absurd. But we've been so desensitized. So much shock and awe, so much shock doctrine, so much trauma-based mind control that the average person's just kind of checked out and they're like, all right, I guess, why, whatever. So I saw this the other day. I had to bring it up and talk about it. This one right here, I tell you. So this whole mission, the Artemis 2, remember that? Keep that in your little mental cabeza por un momento. And we got to talk about this movie from 2024, Fly Me to the Moon. Yeah, a romantic comedy starring Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, that's the one with all the tranny kids. And Channing Tatum. He's probably got some too by now. As a marketing specialist and a NASA, I was gnashing my teeth trying to say NASA. And a NASA launch director. Because, you know, when you're running a good op, you got to have a director. That's how movies work. Respectively tasked with staging a fake moon landing. You picking up what I'm putting down here, right? A fake moon landing as a backup during the historic 1969 Apollo 2 mission. So you're all aware of what we've already discussed on the show before. You know, Stanley Kubrick, 2001: A Space Odyssey, basically using all that tech and then some to film the hoax. And then you had The Shining, all the monikers, you know, the kid, Danny wearing the NASA sweatshirt, the whole 9 yards, just in your face, telling you it's a scam, a con, a hustle, a dodge. Please don't be that stupid. Capricorn 1, another great 70s film. You should watch it. It's got OJ in it, for heaven's sakes. He's not even killing anybody. He actually gets off in the movie. But anyway, I say all that to say this, folks. Fly me to the moon. Yeah, that 2024 joint. Guess what? Artemis was the name of the fake mission in the movie. Artemis was the name of the fake mission in the Fly Me to the Moon movie, which was all about a staged moon landing just in case the 1969 Apollo mission went south. Just in case. Wink, wink. Artemis. Wink, wink. Hey, we just dealt with Artemis 2. Koch and Glover. April Fool's Day. How much clearer do they have to say it is really what it really boils down to at this point. It's because everyone is desensitized. It's because everyone has gone through so many humiliation rituals that now they're in the learned helplessness phase. They're in the phase like the dogs on the shock plate, where they have given up trying to escape the matrix. They have given up trying to tell their friends, neighbors, families, and loved ones and everything else how effed up it is. They've given up and they've just laid down on the shock plate to die. That's what that whole experiment was about to. The learned helplessness. That's where we're at. Trauma-based mind control leads to altered personalities. It leads to learned helplessness, and it leads to desensitization of the trauma. That's where we're at, folks. It might also connect some dots to the mass wave of mental illness that we're dealing with 8 days a week and twice on Sunday, folks. I don't even want to leave the house. Because every time I leave the house, I'm inundated with crazy. Just inundated with actual low IQ people. With actual nut jobs that think they're, Joe Piscopo or something. It's just crazy. Morons out there, folks, everywhere. And yeah, you should point to the fluoride in the water, point to the vaccines, point to the GMO, point to the programming on your device, on your TV, on your pad, on your pod, on your bum, whatever, folks. It's all just one hand washing the other. It's all a mass op. Every single flipping bit of it, folks. Everything. It's just a mass op. I mean, check this out. There was another one I was going to pull up and I didn't. I'm not even going to try. This is what we got going on, man. This is it. This is what we have going on. This individual. I didn't even know who this deranged person was. I had to pull this moron's name up. Rosa DeLauro. Rosa DeLauro. Yeah, she's a representative from Connecticut. Anybody taking any bets on what party she's in? You guessed it, the Communist Party under the mask and guise of the Democratic Party. This is not a Photoshop deal. This is not a Saturday Night Live sketch. I mean, this is why we had Ilhan Omar. This. I was about to be real with you. We got Ilhan Omar looking like the Aunt Jemima lady with her stupid turban on. Clear communist, clear illegal, clear just Muslim extremist. She's in Congress too. AOC went from somehow, we all know how, it's been exposed. Fill in your jokes here. Somehow went from a barkeep, went from making jack turkey to multi-millionaire. I mean, just like the Ilhan Omar married her brother and all this bull mess. It's so rife with insanity. But yet, we've become so desensitized. We've got the 5,000-yard stare. We've just sort of like tuned in, dropped out, and shoved it up our rear here. That's what's up, folks. It's a joke. It's not a funny joke. It's a disgusting, just insane joke. I don't even remember what this moron, Captain Purple Hair, and I love purples. I hate to see this fool, which probably a dude, going out there and trying to scare everybody. I can't even remember what she was. She was having some sort of conniption today, I believe, or maybe it was yesterday. I saw her a little bit on social media, they're having a spell, shaking her fist and just acting like a moron. But we're at the point where nobody cares. Nobody cares because we have become desensitized. You've still got the people, we're going to get out there and vote in the midterms. And I'm like, who gives a flying fig, folks? Who really gives a flying fig? I don't know. I always analogize it to, you want to get hit, hit with like a 22 long rifle, or you want to get hit with like a 45. I mean, you run the risk of dying either way. So, I mean, I don't know, man. You get hit with a 22 in the heart, you're probably dead. You get hit with a 45, like in the leg, you might hobble away. I don't know. It's just like, we're just totally fouled up from the floor up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's stinky out there. It's just ridiculous. And it's not going to get any better. So don't fool yourself. That old song, you're playing yourself. Don't be playing yourself with all that rah, rah, rah. Don't be playing yourself. There's no peaceable way out of this. But here's the good news or the bad news, depending on what lens you're looking through. The American people don't have the balls, temerity, or courage to do anything but sit on their hands and just look in a state of dismay, in that desensitized malaise. That's really what's up, folks. I mean, we could get on here every single day and just cover the stupid. That's really what we're doing, just covering the stupid. Today was kind of a low news day, but it was still stupid. Man, what's this? I'm going to see what this fool's name is because she was in the news today. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't think so. Delaro, sorry. Sounds Italian, too. That makes me even more sad, man. This is sad, brother. Delaro. Huh. I don't know. I don't see anything from today, but I swear it was from today. Maybe it was an old clip of her shaking her fist and acting like a goon. Huh. Don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know. Anyway. Whole thing's just pathetic, man. As old Billy Shakespeare said, you know, all the world's a stage, actors upon it. And that's what I see as I look out there in this morass, in this land of mental midgets. Just a complete landscape of turds. Little Laoputians, little mental midgets trying to drag you down. Don't let them do it, folks. Listen to a little bit of suicidal tendencies. Listen to a little bit of they can't bring me down. Listen to a little suicidal while you go to bed tonight. I think that's a good idea. Anything else on the horizon? Happy birthday to Ian Mackay. You're way too self-righteous for me 99% of the time, but I do love Minor Threat. Love some Fugazi. I love some Embrace. I mean, you did some right stuff, Ian. I don't know if I'd hang out with you, but I like your music. So happy birthday to Ian Mackay. Discord, hardcore legend, all that good stuff. Anyway, I think we've come to the end of our ride this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've come to the end of the line. So, have a good weekend. Be safe out there. Don't do anything too crazy. Try to be kind to each other. Thanks so much to all the listeners for tuning in. Let me take you into that dark side of the AM one more time. Watch your P's and Q's, and remember, you can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference, and I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the Anomic Age.
Thank you for listening to The Anomic Age, a John Age project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to anomicage.com. That's ANOMICAGE.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to The Anomic Age.